Well, all right, all right, all right. Hey there, my tea sippers out there. It is another glorious day, honey, so I need you to get all your crumpets and things together because you know what time it is. It's time to dish tea, honey. You're dishing tea, baby, with big meats. I'm very excited about today's show. As you all know, honey, it's Thursday, and we have a very special edition show for you today. And I'm going to address this, I said, to all of my parents, particularly fathers, because today's show I entitled today's show, Standing Up for Fathers Worldwide. And my guest that's going to be here, we're going to really get into something very sensitive, and I want you to understand that though he's been a guest on here before, we're not here to necessarily talk about his books. I want to bring awareness to what it is that he's facing right now. So for those of you who are listening by computer, if you want to weigh in on the conversation, I implore you, please call 347-205-9183. Again, that's 347-205-9183. If you're listening by computer also, the tea room is open, so you can go over there to the chat room, honey. Please, I implore you. Again, chat responsibly over there, honey. We can all agree to disagree, just don't be disagreeable. It is just a written word, and sometimes you may tend to read and put in your own spin on it, and it may not be the way the person intended for you to have interpreted or whatever. It's just a written word. No need to throw in tanks and computer screens out of the windows or whatever. Just govern yourselves accordingly. So dish tea responsibly over there for me, okay? Now, I'm going to do something a little differently. Now, before I bring him in, I got to say hello to all of my sponsors, but I'm going to have a special guest co-host with me today. I'll figure in on that in just a minute. Let me say my disclaimer first. This show is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters are not appropriate for children or anyone who is not mature to handle the subject matters. Now, your listening discretion is advised. Again, your listening discretion is advised. Y'all know I have a potty mouth, and I make no excuses for it. You do know that I am going to come out of a bag. Now, which bag, I don't know, but know that I'm coming out of one, and you've been warned. Okay. Okay? Now, let me say first, thank you to all of my sponsors for letting me do what I do. For without you, honey, the vision that I have for Dishing Tea could not go further. And for starters, we want to say thank you to Trade Day Management and PR firm. At Trade Day, enjoy a touch of Southern hospitality with a universal appeal. For all of your public relations and entertainment management needs, contact Travion Davenport at 678-523-3088. Again, that's 678-523-3088, or email her at tradedaypr@gmail.com. Tradeday, TREADAY, PR@gmail.com. Pharaoh's Treasure Box, fine art, unique jewelry, and sensational 3D silk floral arrangements, creations by Taps. For all of your decorative needs, contact Pharaoh's Treasure Box at 248-688-5178 or 5179. Again, 248-688-5178 or 5179, or you can email at pharaohstreasurebox@comcast.net. That's pharaohstreasurebox@comcast.net. Parisian Wine Productions, music to lighten your spirits and lift your soul, specializing in gospel inspirational house dance music. For all of your Christian settings and you want that gospel house track, contact Paris Hairston, he's the CEO, at 347-406-7734. Again, that's 347-406-7734, or email him at paris42268@yahoo.com. Again, that's paris42268@yahoo.com. Life Fellowship of Christ Ministries, LIFE, live in freedom everywhere. Reverend James Coleman is the leader and founder of this ecumenical social justice ministries, brought forth to free the oppressed and introducing a fresh approach to the Christ consciousness. Contact Reverend Coleman at mustardcole@yahoo.com. Again, that's mustardcole@yahoo.com. Or contact him at 313-833-9278, 313-833-9278. Eacham Vidal Couture. Enjoy high fashion with a luxurious twist. Step into the future with fresh, innovative couture. Designs by Miss Michi DeVale. For more information, contact Michi at 313-996-9807. 313-996-9807. The BBN, the Big Brothers Network, a new online web magazine designed to show the world the class and style of the debonair man of size and his admirers. We've launched the first edition this past Memorial Day weekend. For more information, contact Big Daddy Tony Brown at Tony@BigBrothersNetwork.com. That's Tony at BIGBROTHAS Network.com. Showtown TV. We are not a website. We are internet television. Carlon Regina Dixon is the head videographer and oversees the project. If you want to create your own television show, your own rap video, your own piece of history, go to ShowtownTV.com. That's SHO-TOWN-TV.com for more information. Thank you to all of my sponsors. And we're going to get this thing rolling right along. Now, before I introduce my guest, let me bring in my special guest co-host. This is From Your World, My Views. He's a funny man. I love him dearly, and I want to thank him for bringing him in. This is the one and only Mr. Tommy TJ Sotomayor. Tommy, you there, baby? Come on in here.
What's going on? What's going on, Meej? How's it going, everybody out there?
Oh, right. Well, it's going in the right direction on this end. So
I love your intro, by the way. Love your intro.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I wanted to bring you in as a co-host on this show because I know you've covered this on your program, and I invite the folks to go to yourworldmyviews.net. Is it .com or .net?
.net. It was .com.
.net.
It's now .net.
Yeah. Okay, really. Okay, but go there. You can find out more about Your World, My Views scheduling. It's right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and you can also check out his archives if you want more information on this particular subject. And then with you being a father yourself, I wanted to have someone to come in who understands that struggle. I'm not a biological father. I've helped raise the world. Okay, and I've been the surrogate father, the pseudo father, the anti-mom. Okay, I've been Mr. Mom. I've been all of those particular things, but I don't understand it necessarily from a first-hand point of view. All of mine is external. So I wanted to bring you in so that when I bring in the guest, we can really, really, really dig deep into this, because men are getting what I feel, the short end of the stick when it comes to custody battles and dealing with their children. And I wanted to make sure that we get a well-rounded point of view. Now, before we bring in Mr. Faison, give me your thoughts on this particular subject.
Well, as you said, and what you alluded to is correct. A lot of men out there who are fathers, who want to be fathers, are getting the shaft, and they ain't getting it in the way that they want it. So they actually didn't ask for that shaft they're getting. So the funny thing is that all the laws are directed to help a female, to help her to thrive in her goal of trying to be the best parent she can. And yet on the same token, or the other side of the coin, it is making it very difficult. It makes it hard for a man to want to be there for his child. And honestly, if you look at the laws, and a lot of you need to go study, it makes it easier for a guy to just give up, to just quit. They're like, and especially in the black household, they're making it to where the thing you feel like is, let me just quit. This isn't working. This isn't worth it. I can't beat the system.
Wow. Okay. Now that there is real talk. Now on that note, let me bring in, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have heard my guest before. I brought him in. He's the author of several books, but the current one that's on the bookshelves right now is 12.6, A Blessing or a Curse. We talked about that book, and we talked about his life a little bit, on why the books came into being, and we talked a little bit about who he is. And he makes no secret, You know, he's a former exotic dancer. He's a former high-priced gigolo. And now he's an author. He is a public service speaker. And now he is most importantly, he is a father who is fighting for the custody of his daughter and all of his children. So we're going to let him bring in his argument right now. Mr. TJ Faison, come on in. Hey, brother, how you doing? Welcome back to Dishing Tea.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
You got it, baby. You got it now.
You guys really kind of set it up for me right today. I mean, you brought back up today, and just hearing what this brother just really said out of his mouth, man, really lets me know that a lot is going to be said today. A lot is going to be said in what people really need to know, you know, because now I feel like I have someone that's back up, you know what I'm saying, that is actually equipped with the knowledge that needs to be said. So that was a good move on your part. Let's do this.
Well, thank you very kindly, baby. You know, I tell you, I wanted this to be the platform right now for men, okay?
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk sexuality right now. We're talking about the business of fatherhood. And as I said, I'm not a biological father. However, I've watched my brother go through changes with his ex-wife and my nieces. I've watched many men go through
you know, I want to stop you there. I want to stop you there because you said it, and I made little notes while you guys were doing your openings. And one thing you said is that, you know, you haven't been a biological father, but you fathered the world. Well, you know, just saying that, I mean, it's more people like you that are needed along with the fathers that are trying to be there, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, some people look at it as a rent-a-pop. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
You hear what I'm saying? Like a rent-a-pop. You know, trust me, I done had some women in my past that have came up and, you know, tried to, you know, put their children on me and you know, put me in a position to, you know, to make me a rent-a-pop. Well, you know, guess what? I'm not for sale. You know, I got my own children I'm trying to fight for, you know? But it is really something when you have people that come in, you know, men that come in. It doesn't matter sexuality. It doesn't matter anything. It just matters on your heart, you know, and what's right, you know? And it's like I think it's an innate thing inside of us men to just want to do that. You know, we do that with our boys, you know, our friends. We do that with, you know, people that we feel are situations have come that are less fortunate, and we just come in and be that father role, you know? So to take something like that is such an innate thing. They say women have their own innate thing. Well, we got ours, you know?
Dig it.
And it's like we need to it's time for us for that to be respected.
All right, and that there is real talk right there, because a lot of time, and we've said this before when you were last here, that, you know, the whole idea of a man standing up for his child, it becomes a catch-22, because at one end of the spectrum, we always hear about the no good daddy, that this man, the man ain't shit, the man ain't this,
Correct.
the man, and then when we hear the exactly, an entire campaign. And then we hear the campaign of, oh, I want a brother who is this and is that and does this and does that. But when you get the man who does this and does that and take care of his kids and this, that, and the other, you fuck him over. Okay?
Yeah.
You put him in the system. You put him in red tape. You put them. And so now we're here. Since the last time you were on the show, what has changed and what has brought you to this point now to where you say, damn, I got to put the boxing gloves back on again?
Okay. I will address that really quick. When you said that, you know, pretty much that when they get the man and they don't really treat them the way that they say that they want it, you know, this is pretty much where I'm at right now with a lot of this and this organization, because I'm celebrating my 10th anniversary, you know, and I'm celebrating my 10th anniversary, and it's not the 10th anniversary that I've ever wanted. It is the marriage to the drama. And on July 12th, I will be getting my divorce from this drama.
Okay, well, dig that. Now, I heard that loud and clear. Okay,
you know,
I like that.
So when I say this, going into what has happened with me, since the last time I was here, you know, I was promoting the book, and, you know, this is pretty much where my world was going, you know. And I had, like, I think 10, 15 cities set up, and, you know, they were really wanting me out there. So it comes to being that I got my daughter in my life. Finally, after fighting for her for a number, we're talking about 8-9 years of attorneys and legal fees and private investigators. I spent upwards of $70,000 just to fight for something that I should have a right for, you know? That's the reason why I became a gigolo, a stripper, you know, and like I said before in your last interview, some people said, oh, well, why couldn't you do this, you know? Or why couldn't you work at a Walmart? Well, you work at Walmart and tell me how it happens. Because when you have someone coming to you and they're saying, hey, I need $10,000 just so we can possibly get you visitation. But, by the way, you have to take a mediation, which is someone sitting across from you and someone sitting across from her and saying, you're not being good parents. You get what I'm saying? So, and then the next time you go back, say she does not honor what the judgment had came down, you now then have to go and pay an attorney again another $7,000 or $8,000. You know, now let's not forget, you still have to live. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're putting all this out. So that was the option that was presented before me, and I took it. So, you know, that's why I don't. There are a lot of the things that I've done in my life that I'm not really proud of, but I will not take them back.
Well, let me stop you right there, brother. I want to jump in. This is TJ again, and I'm with you right there. And here's the funny thing, and we talked about this last night on my show. You have people who, whatever a woman does something, she's a hero for doing it. Whenever a man does something, he's a villain. A woman goes and prostitutes herself, and all she has to do to get out of it and say, I did it for my kids, and everybody says, well, she did it, whatever she had to do. Anytime we have a discussion when we're talking about women and men, it's odd, it's awkward to me, but women get a pass. A man with 3 kids by 3 different women should have known better. A woman with 3 kids by 3 different men. A woman with 3 kids by 3 different men, she's a strong black woman. She did what she had to do. A man without a job is lazy. A woman without a job is on welfare, and she's still strong. A woman who lives at home with her parents is doing what she needs to do for her kids. A man who lives at home with his parents is lazy as hell.
It's just lazy as hell, right? Okay.
I'll say this, and then I'll let you guys go.
Laughing on this.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let you guys go on back to what you were talking about. But I'll just say this. All the black people out there, take a look at this commercial. Commercial's called Omnitech. In the Omnitech commercial, there's a black woman and a black man, and they both are at the bus stop. Black man says, I want your phone number. Black woman says, what are we going to do, ride the bus together, and laugh at him. Then it says 10 months later, after he done went to Omnitech, somehow in 10 months, this brother has gotten a red Audi TT in 10 months with his degree from Omnitech, drives back up to that bus stop, sees same woman getting on that same bus, and says, now can I get your number? She not only gives him the number, but she jumped in the car with him. He looks over at the camera and says, Omnitech, that's what's up. Now, here's what people don't realize. This man had to go out and get something that this woman didn't have. 10 months later, she was doing the same stuff. Exactly. He has to go out and change his life in order to get a woman who's in the same position that he was in when he met her.
Exactly. Hello?
But you know what? I mean, just saying that, and I'd love to address that. One thing for the listeners, if you ever get a chance, check out something when you Google it. Just it's R.I.P. Black America. Rest in peace, Black America. Check that out, and you'll see kind of you'll get an understanding of what this brother just talked about, basically. And what it is pop culture has done so many things to help raise, children and raise, I guess this new generation that is in here. But as far as women are concerned, they're not like when it was, our mother's mother, because it was just like if things didn't work out right with the father, it's like, okay, you need to be there, It wasn't until the 70s and 80s when these laws started changing to where it was to protect all of this, father who leaves the home and everything like that. And like the brother said earlier, it makes it very impossible. It's like you're fighting a giant, but it makes it very easy for the man to just walk away, But that was the one thing that I just refused to do. I refused to do it, And it's a giant that you're fighting. You're not just fighting that woman that you ended up you know, at one point in time it was, you heard Puccini when y'all kissed. No. This is now a woman. You know what I'm saying? This is now a woman who is, what did I throw you off on that one, man?
That was, yes, baby. That's Puccini, baby. I wasn't ready. But okay, that's the wet noodle for you. You know, I'm going to stop you with a wet noodle when I see you, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, it's now you're dealing with this, you know, this creature, this woman who is now a hurt person who is now using a giant to help her, you know, to have control. Right. You know, some women use these children as possessions or weapons of mass destruction.
Ooh.
You know, they do, you know, and they use it, you know, and a lot of them are sometimes learned behavior. So that's what I'm pretty much doing with my new, you know, organization that I've started, which is called Stand for a Father. Stand for a Father is not just, you know, going to help out fathers and, you know, bring, you know, like, basically what we're going to do is we're going to bring attention to cases around the country where fathers are dealing with things, and we're going to enlist, because it's me and a couple of attorneys that are putting this organization together, and what we're doing is that we're enlisting, you know, publicists and, you know, different news outlets. So whenever, you know, a father is going to this, we need that to be a campaign. We need attention brought to that. We need news footage in Dubuque, Iowa. We need news footage in Omaha, Nebraska. You get what I'm saying? Because only when that buzz begins to start, that's when something is going to happen. You know? It's been done so many different ways. So, I mean, look at the age that we live in. It's television. Everything is so immediately. So it's just like what we need is to, you know, utilize all those things and say, you know what, we're going to go and pinpoint cases and bring attention. The more people hear about this, the more people are going to really care.
Exactly. I applaud that particular effort, baby. Now, let me ask this, because...
So let me get to what happened to me. Let me get what's going on with me, because I got to bring everything up to speed. So you can hit me with your question, because I know they're dynamic. Oh, I'm ready this time. I'm ready this time.
You ready,
I wasn't ready the last time, but I'm ready.
Oh, he knows me. Oh, Lord, the time I found out my teeth. Go ahead and give me your backstory, because I got a couple things for you.
Okay, so pretty much quickly what happened. So then I got my daughter. So I had a month with her, and it was something to me, you know. I mean, here it is. You're fighting for something that you passionately love and feel, and you get it, and then you're like, okay, what am I going to do? What do I do now? You know? So when I got her, you know, I went through the, you know, the periods of, oh, God, she wants a two-piece bathing suit. She's 9, you know, or, oh, my God, she wants to, you know, get all her toenails painted and this, and she wants to wear a little lipstick. Oh, my God, someone help me, you know? But I got through that, you know? I got through that. And then just when I got a hold of that, and then I moved the mother of my daughter and, you know, the other 2 children down here to Atlanta to an apartment, then as soon as I'm doing that, I get a hit on MySpace. And I'm like, okay, it's from this girl that I used to date. Like, you know, I didn't really date her. I think we had a couple of moments. A little of that. And she hits me up. She says, you know, we were like brother and sister. And I'm like, okay, brother and sister, like, okay. So then she's like, oh, you should really take a look at your nephew, because everybody says he looks like you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, what is she trying to say, you know? So she's sending me pictures of back shots of her bending over, you know, and I'm like, okay, yeah, what are you trying to say? Basically, he ended up being my son.
Wow.
And he's 13 years old. He's 14 now. I did not know anything about him. I didn't find out about him until like a month after I got my daughter in my life. So now I had to cancel my entire tour and just become a daddy. So for the past year, that's what I've been doing.
Wow.
Every weekend, I've been with my children. I've had Christmas with my children. I do Easter egg hunts with my children. You know, I take them to the firehouse. I take them on outings, you know. I post a lot of stuff on Facebook. It wasn't because I was trying to build a campaign to say, hey, I'm such a great dad. I was just so happy. I wanted to share it with the world.
Exactly. Being a proud father.
Yeah.
You know.
So pretty much now what has happened is, you know, and I just want to let you guys know it's really been hard, you know. But God has been there with me, and a lot of strong people have been there with me. A lot of close friends have been there to walk me through this, you know. And we've learned so much, you know. And it's been a huge blessing to my life, you know. And to have this situation now transpire, because I'm moving to New York, and, you know, I have some big things popping in New York. So I mentioned to, you know, the mother of my daughter, you know, I wanted to take my children to New York. So pretty much she pulled the power trip after I've already won custody and goes and takes out a protective order against me and all the children, and makes it to where she says that the children are frightened of me and that I have done a number of things to her and a number of other things. I won't go into all the charges, but they're very false. They're very false, and not just me saying, oh, well, no, I didn't do it. No, I mean, this battle has been, like I said, a 10-year battle. So the one thing that I have that pretty much speaks for me, even if I never said a word, is the court battles that I've dealt with already from this. So it's public knowledge. Anybody can find out anything. You know, and you know me, man. You know I keep it real, and I'm going to say everything that I got to say, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not all about that hiding anything, you know, because it's like at the end of the day, I just got me.
Okay, now here we go. Now, let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
All right. The art of wanting to take your children with you. You had sole custody of all of your children. So
okay, let me clear this up. No, when I say take them, I wanted to take my son, the one I just found out about, and my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, because I only have 2 biological children. But I have been taking care of 2 other ones that were her children, which was my daughter, brother, and sister, and I treated them all the same. So I took 4 children every weekend.
Right.
For a year.
Okay. So now the move to New York was
just a move for me. That's a move for me, but I wanted my children. You know, my daughter and my now 14-year-old son. It's still eerie to say it because it's still so new to me. And but take him and her so they could experience New York the way that I know that I can show them New York, you know?
Okay.
So and just buy them school clothes and then bring them back.
So this wasn't a permanent move. This was just
this was just for the summer
to take them with. For the
summer.
For the summer. Okay, that's the part. Yeah. Okay. And then she had a problem with that, and then came out of a bag and flipped a wig, and now
came out of an old bag, an old dusty bag of tricks.
Oh, not the old dusty Felix.
Yeah, because I've been here before, man. I've been here before. So I mean, I pretty much can walk through this blind, you know.
Right.
You know, I know pretty much everything she could use, you know, but it's okay because, like I said, on July 12th, I will be vindicated of all charges, and then I will be moving forward with my life with my daughter and my children and going ahead with my career and going ahead now with Stand for a Father.
Dig it. Okay, now here we go. Because when you were last here, and then you just stated earlier that, we know you had retired from a lot of the dancing and all of that because that's been about 6 years, 7 years now. I wasn't a dancer or a high-price gigolo for 7 years now. Okay. And so now having to battle these court cases, Is that one of the charges, that you're going to have to go back into that particular world to do all this? And
well, I'm glad you asked this. No one has ever asked this on any radio interview. Well, it's kind of funny that you would say that, because if that ever got revisited, which, hey, I know the bag of tricks. The only thing that kind of just stands as something that counteracts that is that she used to do it too.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm sitting up here thinking, girl is trying to give me Christian woman. Oh, Lord. Keep on talking. I got to take a sip on that.
It's a lot. It's a lot, my friend. It's a lot. This story is a lot. I'm going to tell you something. It's a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Did we lose the co-host? Because I was expecting to hear something from him.
No,
I don't know what's going on now.
No, you got to understand. I'm listening to everything because I don't know your situation. I know everything you're telling me. I'm learning, and I'm feeling like Nietzsche right now. Again, there goes the double standards, and there's some double standards again that I don't mind knowing them going into it. We talked about marriage last night, but that double standard I don't get. Again, when a woman's doing it, she is doing it too.
She did it too. She did it before I did. That's how I learned. That's when she did it first. She did it first. Years before I even thought about even doing it. But when I started to do it, I had already left my hometown and went to moved to Philadelphia, and that's where I started dancing. I used to dance with Fimsy in Philly. They were on HBO Real Sex 2021. Yeah. That's where I started dancing at. And when I went up there, I was just, I went up there and I was messing with this girl, and she was like, "Oh, you got a really big," and I said this on your show last time, and I'm not really here to go into that, but I'm pretty much just saying is that when I started, I learned from her.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so now that we're here.
Which one are you wowing? The girl did it, or that he said he got a really big.
Oh, what they hear you, man?
I have the book. See, straight children, honey. Y'all are just too much for my nerves. Okay. Because I have the book, I've read the book, honey. I've seen the pictures.
But see, yeah, there's a lot of the story that about my story. See, I didn't really want to be into all the, of course, you always got to plug what you're doing. Yeah, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that.
Oh, you got a picture in your book? I'm just curious. I don't know. You got a picture in your book?
Look, you got. Hey. You have a computer in front of you. You pull it up yourself in your own time. Okay, we're here talking about this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this going. Come on, let's go.
But you got to constantly be selling. You got to make sure that new people like me who know nothing about it can know where they can go get it.
www.tdfaison.com.
You got to understand, I'm a book writer, a psychologist. I make sure that anytime someone doesn't know about my product, they know where they can see it. I might not elaborate on it. They know where they can go get it.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. I'm always gonna do that, but I want to make sure we stay on this.
Okay, here's the thing. Now let me rein it on in, because let me play director here.
Okay.
Okay, this is the whole thing. The idea why I wanted to revisit that question is because I know, like, a lot of my listeners have already heard that. So now, what are the steps that you're taking now? Because you're saying the part of the battle is that you were having before were your finances and making sure this is in order and that is in order. And you're saying, and your comment earlier was, by the grace of God, we got folks this time that's helping me out, that's doing this, that's doing that. Your support system in all of this, what is that like for you? And I want you to elaborate on that from a man's perspective.
Exactly.
Saying that I have a support system.
I love this question. Well, pretty much my support system has been, some of in life you have certain friends and, you can say, oh, my God, this person is like this and they have these things, but you accept them because they're your friends, And when it came to my friends that stood up with me, that's what Stand for a Father came from, because I had a conversation with them, and I was like, you guys stood up for me, And they stood up in ways that they never even knew that they could do themselves. They might not even have cared a lot about some of the decisions that they made in their own lives, but they went tooth and nail for my kids. you know, and they stood up and you know, were there with me on the outings, you know, because, I mean, I'm taking three or four kids, you know, or 5 kids for Christmas, you know, and I'm taking them out and doing things with them. Yo, it's just me, you know. So it's just like, you know, I have, you know, certain women that would come with me, some of my boys that would come with me, and, you know, they would just be there, you know, because they were girls and I had, you know, my sons, you know. So it was just like, you know, we needed to get that balance going and making sure that every kid got the attention that they needed, you know, because there would be times when my friends would sit later, like when the kids would be sleeping or something, and we'd all sit around and talk, and then they would just tell me some of the things that, you know, at that point in time I'm giving attention to one child, you know, someone else, another child is needing something else, you know. So, I think it was such a blessing for me to have, you know, such, you know, great friends like Dorian and Samantha and, you know, Chaos and, you know, JC, you know, I could name so many other friends, you know, that have been there to be there as a support system, you know, with me and the children. So, you know, we would sit down and they would tell me things, you know, and, you know, one of the things that really kind of really upset me, and I'm writing about this in my new book, is a scene, well, I'm saying a scene because I'm writing it, but a part where when one day we were talking, and I would do things with the children so they would have arts and crafts and, you know, paint and everything like that. And, you know, there's a couple of photos on my Facebook of that, you know, when they do that. And one of the children was drawing dogs being hung from trees, you know, and they would always laugh at horror movies. They thought this was such a funny thing, you know, and there was a lot of anger issues there, you know, that the mother just was oblivious of. You get what I'm saying? And that was something that one of my friends came to me and we discussed, and then I started seeing it, and then we dealt with it. Now this child today, when this thing was discovered, we dealt with it, we attacked it, and got rid of it, you know? Not forcefully, but with love and attention and understanding. Mm-hmm. And now this child doesn't even want to see scary movies. The things that they're doing now are so much in a comedic and happy state, you know. It's just like, but that's attention that needed to be there, you know. So, I mean, that's the type of support system that, you know, I've been surrounded with and my children have been surrounded with, you know.
Okay, now, as a father, I want the listeners to, not just telling me your anecdotes, but let me get your personal assessment of your ability to father your children. Since the last interview, what has changed? What's gotten better? What do you think you need to improve on? You know because you're presenting the case.
Good question.
That is saying that, okay, I'm about to go to court, and I know one of the things in court they always do with fathers is they always question his character and his ability to be a parent. So explain that.
Well, I really like this question. You've been really on it, man. You was doing your research. I like this.
Maybe I told you, honey. I watched too many men go through this.
Well,
my brother being one.
I would say my parenting skills. Like when I first started out on this, you know, it was just, you know, for the battle, you know, I was just battling, just trying to be a part, you know. So then when I finally got my, you know, it's like, look, I went and fought for 8 years for custody, and then I finally got my daughter, and then 3 more came. So it's like when you're asked for it, you really got it, you know?
Okay, right.
So, you know, when I walked into it, you know, I embraced it, and, you know, I got rid of something that, you know, a lot of people, like, you know, I mean, would think that this is something that's more important to me, like my career, but, you know, I know that in life that you can have everything that you want. You just sometimes can't have it at the same time, you know? So I had to put the career on hold and just concentrate on my children. And I came to understand that my children, to me, are the legacy of which I stand. And I need to make sure that they see so much love and that they see so much direction and understand authority and understand just the power that they have within themselves to be able to create anything that they need, you know. And that's one thing that I just always did with my, you know, my children, you know, and I call all of them my children, the ones that aren't biologically mine and the 2 that are. They're my children. And, you know, as far as anything anybody could say, court or whatever, I don't want to hear that. That's my child, you know. And I've been there, you know, I've held them when they've cried. I've been there to laugh with them, you know, and it's brought like a like I guess it's kind of hard to say. It brought out like I said earlier, an innate rawness in me that just made me want it to protect. You know? And it was just like, just to protect, you know, what they're intaking, you know, what they're saying out, the little words that come out of their mouth. No, don't just pass it off. You know, that means something. That's a personality there. That's some part of you, but there's something there, and they're trying to say it, and they're trying to figure out how to say it. So you need to listen to all those things, you know. I mean, I would clear my house whenever my kids are at a point where one of them is not feeling something right, and it's like, okay, I need to deal with that, you know. And it's like, it's been, you know, I've always been a person that's always been up to challenges, you know. But when I first went into this, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, you know.
Okay, right.
And I never really had a moment, you know, when my son came in, I never even had a moment to digest any of this, because it was like, you know what, we're here, Daddy, and we need you. And that's all that matters to me. So it's like, you know, I'll go away somewhere soon and go to an island, and then I'll sit and probably drink some pina coladas and cry on the beach and be like, what happened? I'll do that then.
Did you say PJ Colada and cry on the beach?
On the beach,
okay.
Whatever.
On the beach.
You know, but what I'm saying is that's not where I'm at right now, you know, and I haven't had a chance to even think about it, because it's been a huge blessing to my life, you know, to have my son, to have my children, you know, because a lot of my friends said it changed me. You know, they said, you are so different, you know. And for a while, I kind of got offended. Like, what you mean that changed me? What you trying to say, you know? But it was
matured.
Yeah, it really, man, it really woke. Man, you know what? I'm getting my grown man on.
It's not your grown man. Okay,
my grown man on. That's what I'm getting on.
Okay. I'm digging that. Now, let's go here, because for those who are questioning, because you're using the term my career, and we've already established that the former career is 7 years in the past.
Correct.
Exactly what is your career now, and how would that benefit the welfare of your children outside of the necessities of taking care of the household and blah, blah, blah?
Exactly.
As looking at it from the court's position of saying, okay, is he a good role model? What are you doing that's going to sustain these children?
Okay. Well, with the advice of my manager, and I have to say certain, because they're standing right here, certain things I'll say. Okay. Well,
and that's fine, because you come to court, so we don't want to.
No, it's okay. Well, basically, my first book, of course, all the things she told me, you know, it is in 8 different languages, and it does what it does, and we're proud of it. I have a new book coming out. It's called Father Knows Best. The time period that I took off from the road, I just started writing. So it's basically a journal of what I've gone through, you know, with funny anecdotes, things that I was really thinking, the lesson that ended up happening with the children, the experiences, some of the things that they said, photographs, you know, that's pretty much what this book is going to be about. And it's called Father Knows Best. And on the front of the cover it says Father Knows Best, and it's 3 question marks behind it with me on the front of the cover, which, you know how you have your shoulders shrugged and you go, I don't know.
Right, I don't know, right, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the name of the book. But once you read it, you'll see, like, you know, that's just me being very genuine about it, you know. So that book is coming out, and it's going to be under wide release, and I'm really excited about this. I'm moving to New York to finally bring my play to off-Broadway. It's called Yes. And as you know, we have been working on that for a while. And
you've been working on that for a minute, right?
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes, you know, certain avenues you think of taking a project, and then God goes, no, it needs to go here. So now it's going there. So that's why I'm moving up to New York. Also, I have a television show that I've written, and that is being sold as well. So as far as my monetary value on things, my children, all these things came into play because I made the ultimate sacrifices. These are not things that I went out after doing. I made a sacrifice, and God told me to make a sacrifice and make sure that you're there for these children. And when I did that, these projects came into being without even understanding of them. Even I didn't even think about doing any of this. This is what I'm saying, and all these things came in. So, man, I mean, as far as anything else, like I said, Stand for a Father is pretty much, we're launching it with my story, but it's not just about me, It's about everybody, every father that is going through this. It's very important.
Okay, now, because I was going right there, that was going to be my next series of questions, because with standing for a father, standing up for a father, with this particular organization in its grassroots level now, have your team of people, who are you looking to help to come in and partner with or whatever? Because there's a lot of men out there who are in need of such a service. There's several different organizations that still men don't know about, but who are you looking to partner with?
Well, I've been for a few years, what's so crazy is that on Monday, my court date, July 12th in Atlanta, Fulton County, Superior Court.
Fulton County. Go ahead.
Yeah, Superior Court, Monday, 9:30, July 12th, room AG. But, yeah.
Okay, so, that's our cue line. Support. Okay.
Yeah, support. I mean, just support. It's room A, like the number 8, letter G, 9:30. Okay. So, yeah, pretty much. On Monday, I'm supposed to be in New York speaking at a colon cancer event and an HIV event, which is things that I do for free. And I'm supposed to be there. They had already paid for my ticket. And, of course, now I can't go because I have to attend something, this Stranger Than Fiction event. So, as far as with the people I partner, I have so many, contacts that I've been dealing with over the years, and they've always said, well, you should do something. They used to say it to me all the time. You should do something. You really should do something, because they would hire me to come speak because of my story. And now that I'm starting this organization, they're just like, we're giving you all our contacts, people we get fundraisers from. So, I mean, it's actually moving itself now, actually.
Okay.
I'm just kind of like the CEO, and the head, like the head figure of it, I guess. I guess the face of it. But, and as a part of the CEO, I'm going to change the face to be all these different faces. Of Stand for a Father.
Let me ask this. Because as an African-American father that is going through this in the system, and we all know that our particular culture seems to be the worst on its men. Our counterparts do not seem to get the same negative treatment that our culture seems to give our brothers. Okay. What would you say be your moniker, or what would be your creed or your logo for standing up for a father in this particular realm, considering your story and what you've gone through?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, if you're talking about as far as how we're going to, I guess, market or deal with, the different minority communities, I mean, of course, that's campaign and marketing. So, I can't really answer something like that. But I can say is that it would be geared towards, minorities, because, I mean, of course, minorities make up most of the country, and, that's a fact. So, you want to go ahead and, we can have, we are going to have a division that pretty much, markets to them. I mean, it's the same thing when you have, people that are, Spanish speaking, because it's not just something that some black guy just started, I mean, actually, the attorneys that are doing this are Jewish. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's America here.
Right.
So,
well, it's a little bit more developed in marketing, and let me redo the question, because
because you're
not necessarily marketing the
organization.
No. Not so much as a slogan or anything. What my whole thing is, in a nutshell, black folks and baby daddy drama is what seems to be the moniker here. Okay, for our culture. And with you being a black man who has gone through the system and like, okay, hold on, pump your brakes, because, you know, we need to let the folks know, you know, black men are out there that's looking to take care of their babies and this, that, and the other. What is it that you would say personally, you know, against this fight? Because black men are still getting the short end of the fucking stick. Every time, you know, black men are still stigmatized as being lazy and not want to take care of their kids. They make them with 1,500 women, but they don't want to take care of them. So with you having this story of saying, no, hell, if you go through my story with the shit that I've gone through to take care of my child, to sit up to make sure I have the funds to get my baby, and still got to deal with this bullshit, what is it that, you know, what would you say personally to those who may want to criticize it or still put you in the baby daddy drama category?
Okay, now you got me. Now I'm with you. Okay. Man, let me tell you something. From my story, like I just said, you look at it like this. If anybody out there that's listening, you think of it like this. Say you have a situation where you are in an argument, you are in a fight, a drama, any type of situation that's just drama with one individual, with one person, and it has now lasted for 10 years. For 10 years. And each time, you never started it. Now, how would you feel if someone else came up to you and said, and criticized anything about that situation when they would know nothing about it?
Good point.
This is an argument that has lasted 10 years, and it's only been one person starting it. The other person has just been trying to figure out, why is this going on?
Let me ask this.
I don't want to see. I mean, I wouldn't even have a conversation with someone to go into such things, you know, because like I said at the beginning of this interview, like it doesn't deserve that, you know. Like if you want to know all that, like I said at the beginning of this interview, it's public record. Go online, do the research yourself. You care about it that much to criticize.
Okay, how about it? Now here's the thing. Black women and your support system.
Which is very
black
strong.
Women have, and that's what I want to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Strong black. Let me tell you something. Most of my books, most of the women that come out to see me when I'm doing signings, most of them are black women, Puerto Rican women, you know, white women. They're there, you know, and they come out. But I have a strong black woman support system, you know, that really, you know, I mean, you could go to any page that's online with me, tdfaison.com. You can go to my Facebook, my Twitter, my MySpace, and you'll see these women, you know, that stand for me. They stand up with me, you know, and they're black women. So it's like I'm not a feminist. I'm not someone who's downing black women and all that. You know, it's just I'm talking about one situation right now. And with my one situation, it actually encompasses so many other people's situation, no matter what color you are.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, and I just want to bring you guys this, it's a little bit of a breaking news. I don't know if am I allowed to do that, Meech?
Yes, you are. You should have been did it.
You're the co-host, darling.
Well, you know, it has something to do with what we're talking about. Did you know that LeBron James' father is suing LeBron James and his mother because for $4 million because he believes he is the father, and she told him that he wasn't the father, and he hasn't been in LeBron James' life. It's stories like this that kind of hurt us as brothers, kind of like
exactly, because that's the one that's going to get most press.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all about press, man. It's all about press. I'm gonna tell you.
But he hasn't been there for this child's life, and you don't hear anything about the mother suing him or putting him in jail or any of that stuff. But now that LeBron James is getting ready to have his moment in the sun, you have this guy coming out saying that he was told a long time ago that he wasn't the father. So, well, then if you went on with your life for that many years, why all of a sudden are you now not only trying to be in the child's life, like at least Snoop's dad?
Man, you trying to get that money, man. You come on, man. I mean, we got stand for a father going over here. We don't need you trying to get his money.
Thank you. It makes us look bad. And I'm going to give you guys the last situation. I don't know how much time left, but I'll go real quick. Here's my situation. my situation is I have a daughter, and I spend all my time with my daughter Monday through Friday, every day. There's no child support in order. I'm with her Monday through Friday and sometimes through Saturday. Her mother and I had an argument this past weekend. She was asking me for some money, and I said I didn't have any. She got mad, yelled at my daughter, and told me I do nothing for my daughter. And this is the crux of what goes on in the black community. When a black woman keeps her child every day, she looks at that as, this is what I do. This is my job. As a father, it doesn't matter how long you keep your child, they want a check from you. That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't I be getting a check if I'm with her 5 to 6 days a week? Shouldn't I be getting a check? Shouldn't I be asking for a check?
Okay. Hey, man. You know what? Look at it. I've always said this. You know what it looks like? You know, when you look at the laws and you look at the things that pretty much say it, you know, whatever it says, that matters not. Translation means you are a sperm donor and a check.
Yep.
That's it.
Fathers never see their child, but as long as they have a check every month, that woman will think that's a good man. You have a man that's in that child.
What about the value? What about the things that they need to learn? What about the things that were initially supposed to be instilled that only we could do?
Why don't you ask a child, and this is what they don't do. If you ask a child, that child doesn't remember not getting a check. That child remembers not seeing their parent.
Their parent.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly, because that became grown folks' business. You didn't know about the money.
That's right. You didn't know about the money.
Okay.
Let me ask
you. He's telling the truth, because I asked, one time, I was having a conversation with my kids, and I was talking about certain things that they had, and it was like, we never knew. We was wondering where that came from. Like, wow, I didn't even get the acknowledgement. You didn't even tell them that I'm the one that sent all those things.
You won't get the acknowledgement, but you will get the criticism. It's almost it's almost like being when they say it's like a sport. I forgot what position it is in sports, where you get all the criticism, but you get none of the credit. When the thing's wrong, they say, it was this guy's fault, either the coach or somebody. It's his fault we lost. But when we win, it's a team effort.
Exactly.
Okay, right. Okay. Now, let me ask this, because I asked about the black women's support, but I want to know about the genuine black male support, not just men, but black men in particular, because in our culture, we have this thing of wanting to be a player, wanting to be a hustler. As long as you got your kids and made them babies and show that the penis works, it's all dap. You still my dude, you still my nigga. But when it comes to the responsibility, those who are out there on the streets that are shucking and jiving their responsibility, they'll be like, oh, dog, you got a bum rap. Oh, man, she taking you to court. Well, I know how to get out of that. Hell, fuck it, I'll just get me a job under the table. I won't do this, that, and the other. But, your genuine support from black men and your efforts, what has that been for you in this endeavor?
Well, like I said, I've had experience of touring around the country, being a father's right activist, and it always touches me whenever a brother comes up and is like, man, I was kind of thinking some of those ideas that you had, but I was like, nah, that probably wouldn't even work, and I just went ahead and we did something else, and I was like, man, the fact that you even came up with those ideas, that was a gift that was given to you, so to go with it, And just for FYI, there are a lot of fathers that I have met, black, white, Asian, Jewish, and men love their children. They just don't care about the drama,
Yep.
And when it comes to, that's what it is. They just don't care about the drama. That's what they want to walk away from. They're not walking away from the children at all. It's just the drama is so serious. It is serious, And I've talked to them. See, I'm not one who walked away, but I do have empathy and for these guys who have, been in these situations where they're like, man, I fought, and then, I gave up my whole check. I couldn't pay my rent, but I was like, if I got my kid and he was counting on something else to come in, to go ahead and cover the rent, that didn't happen. He lost his place, and he just walked away and forgot it, hadn't seen his kid in 5 years.
I just want to say, after a while, honestly, and people don't understand this, there are a lot of guys who are paying child support who can't afford a car and a place to stay. but this woman lives in the house with her new husband.
Right. In her new life, and she's putting stipulations now on him on when he can see the child, not really caring that, okay, at one point in time, we heard Puccini together, but now you're trying to destroy my life.
And then how about this? A guy, when he does want to see his child, they think that men are supposed to be happy with 2 days a week.
2 days.
Weekend.
That's enough. That's supposed to be enough.
4 days a month, you're supposed to be cool with that and paying out 20 to 25, sometimes 30% of your check. And this is
it.
But you know what? I mean, and they have really relegated the father to somebody.
You know what? But you know what? My thing is, you know what? I mean, like I said, I do understand, you know, people that have been in that situation and myself, you know, to a degree. But you know what? I hate it when people are just making it about the financial part of the situation. Because again, like you said, I mean, if the finances is like, I know we live in a monetary society, but does it really have to be all the way down to just how we raise individuals, how we raise children? Is that what it's supposed to be now? Because if that's what it is, then we've got this all wrong. Because the simple fact is that it's about the emotional connection, you know. I mean, I could give you so many surveys and numbers and statistics of, you know, what happens when the father's not into the family, what happens in the black household when the father's not in the family, or what happens in households when the father gets one time a week and, you know, once a week visits. I mean, those things are broken down, and that stuff is true. You know, but that type of stuff doesn't get pressed because people don't want to bring that type of attention. You know what? Because it's shocking and alarming and it's scary to people. Because then they go like, oh, my God, how do we fix this?
Well, I think it's, we had a discussion and the woman was saying how the black woman is most scrutinized. And I said, no, the black woman is most protected. I said, you can't say anything bad about a black woman. A black woman with 15 kids by 15 men can still call each one of the 15 men deadbeats. Not her for bringing in
grandfathered in. Those laws were grandfathered in. That's why that is.
And it's funny. Yeah, it's funny just the way that we talk. Even the fact that when you hear things like, in one instance, when Imus says nappy head hole, they want to jump up and be offended. And white America is looking at that thinking, why aren't you offended when Lil Jon says nappy head hole? Why aren't you offended when all these other people say it and you're not boycotting their album? Everything that we do is almost backwards in the black community. You'll have a man that wants to be there for his kids. That's the man that a black woman's trying to make it difficult for him to be there. Because black women, this is my opinion, I think they like being the victim. I think they love and they relish being the victim. Father's Day came, and I had so many black women on Facebook putting up there literally wanting to take credit for being a father. I said, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I had the same thing. They say, and it's just like, if you ever viewed the situations are so powerful. People don't understand that. It's like, if you really view the situation like what it really is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how your show is, like you really want what's really going on. Forget the facade that you're trying to sell me, because I'm not buying. So just tell me what it really is. Because when you really start looking into what it really is, you know what I'm saying? Like, people's opinions change.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
But it's not enough of us. But it's not enough of us. See, when guys like us step up and say something, we're easily dismissed. It's kind of like what happened when Kennedy was shot. It got to a point where they stopped wanting to kill the people who had something to do with it. They just made them look crazy, because it's easier to make somebody look crazy and then the rest of the world would dismiss them. It's the same thing that happens with guys who stand up and say.
Like I said, it's been grandfathered in, man. It's been grandfathered in. A lot of these laws, a lot of these things, a lot of this acceptance and all these things, like I mentioned earlier about pop culture, you know, we're not making this the type of show because we want to keep him on the air. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay, right.
But what I will say is that these things were grandfathered in, and what it is that it's time for it to just end, and it's time for a voice to be heard, and it's more people like us that will begin to speak up, and more stories like mine and other people's that will be shown, and, you know, and attention brought to, and then we can make this thing happen, man. We can really rock this.
Yeah, because a lot of what happens is, and I noticed in my travels, I speak a lot for a lot of guys who say to me specifically, they are afraid to say what I'm saying. They said because if you say it, people will turn it on you and say, well, you're advocating being a deadbeat dad, or you're advocating all this stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're advocating the idea of equal rights.
Don't forget the one thing they say. There was this one thing. It happened in Michigan. I think it was Michigan, Detroit, where this I forgot her name at that time. She was one of the ones that stood behind getting what they did. Like I said, grandfathered in is because it's very silk thread line between abuse and parental rights.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because of laws that have been put into place, they say some of these laws were put in place to protect the mother just in case he abuses her. So that's why if you really think about it, most of the cases that if you do your research on, at some point in time there is a claim of abuse in there. And then what people fail to realize is go in and check what was the ruling, not the claim, but what was the ruling after, the verdict. Most of the time you'll find, and I'm talking about 80%, and I'll stand by that number, for the simple fact is that you will find that a lot of those charges were actually false claims. Because the laws that were there...
You know how many guys' lives have been ruined by this
have been ruined from this.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and you can't. And the thing is, what people don't understand of how serious this accusation is, and it starts from when the little girl.
Serious accusation.
It's so serious that even when it's proven that a guy didn't do it, the stigma never leaves that guy.
Never
and
leaves.
Let me just address this right now, and I'll address this. One of the charges that she has put in the protective order is that I assaulted her.
Mm-hmm.
She actually says in 1999 I raped her, and that is the reason why we have a daughter.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Now, I say this because it's not like it's it's public knowledge. You can find it out. So I'm going to address it. I've done this, a couple of interviews, and I've addressed it wholeheartedly, and this is what's going on. Now, the funny thing to me is that these charges that she's putting up against me now, again, she's done it before, and what's happened? It's been thrown out of court. Not dismissed, because nobody showed up. It's been thrown out of court, and the transcripts are there, and I've been vindicated each time, Like I said, this is she just showed up on time. It was our anniversary. I was like, where you been?
Wow.
Hell, you got to look at not LeBron James, but Dwayne Wade's case. His wife did the same thing.
Well.
She did the exact same thing. If you look at those women, when you look at the TV show, just Snap. Every time a woman kills her husband, kills her boyfriend, what's the first thing she claims in order to get off?
Yeah.
He abused her.
Get off. He beat me.
Lorena Bobbitt. I was beat. Every time it was I was beat. And usually the guy will end up losing something by that claim. If it's nothing more than
even if he walks away from it, which happens most of the time, even if he walks away from it, you know what ends up happening? Is like you said, he loses other things. Respect.
Yep.
He loses
respect, dignity, integrity,
and which is a black man. That's one of the things that we fight for on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, exactly. Mm-hmm.
It's like, and you can't win for losing. If you go back, and they did a feature on True TV about Michael Jackson, and it made me rethink that whole thing. The idea of him paying the child $20 million to shut up and go away, you think, well, that's an immediate admission of guilt. Well, no, this man is a name. He's a brand. He knows that even if his false claim, if his false claim is out there, it ruins him and his marketability. So it's easier, and his lawyers told him to go ahead and just pay it off, which was bad advice that if you hindsight 2020.
You deal with. You're supposed to deal with it. You face it head on.
Mm-hmm. Because even when you tell somebody you can't speak about the case, you can't bring anything out. All they got to do is say something to an aunt or uncle who tells another cousin, and then they say it. It's going to come out.
Right.
Or also public records.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like people don't understand. Like the things that I'm sharing today, I'm not sharing something that he just made. No, I mean you can find this out on your own. you know, and people have already found it out already. So, you know, I'm addressing this, you know. Do your research. You'll find, you know, and actually just come down on July 12th, on Monday, at 9:30 a.m., Atlanta Court, Fulton County, Superior Court, 8G. And then have a chance to see and sit down and then hear the truth again.
Don't make me come down there, because you know I'm in the ATL. I come down there with picket signs.
Well,
okay.
Well, that's what we're needing.
That's the battle cry, honey, because that's what it is.
That's
basically what it is, because
this is my 10th year. This is my 10th year anniversary of something that I do not want. So do you not think that I want something like this to be?
Okay.
I want my divorce. I can't deal with this anymore. I just want to be a father, and I just want to be able to do the things that I need to do for my family, and that's it, you know? That's what I need to be doing, you know? I need to be concentrating on the things that are most important to my calling. And this right here, apparently this is the next step to it. So I'm going in it like headstrong, and I'm going to make sure that this is something that is brought to attention.
Yep, and I do it every day.
It's not about me. It's not about me at all, you know? It's not about me. You know, I do it every day. I try my best to bring it to the forefront, too. It is a horrible thing that men have to go through. It's a horrible thing that men have to deal with. It really is, and it's a shame that when people see the wrong, that's the scary part. When people see the wrong. And then you turn the blind eye.
Yeah, exactly. They say, well,
turn the blind eye.
There was a woman we were talking to in my show last night, and it was surprising. She was an advocate of how Tiger Woods' wife deserved all that money, and any woman who marries a man and he leaves people.
There we go back to money. It keeps going back to money. It always goes back to money. That's what I keep saying, and people don't realize it. It goes back to money.
Because that's what's been inoculated. Everything
that's what's been taught.
Exactly. It has been taught. If you're going to be a single mama or whatever, you're supposed to take him to court and get the check. Especially, and we hear that a lot on, you know, for those who are welfare recipients, because you get the check from the state, you get the check from him. You get the check, you get the check. And it becomes this lazy Neanderthal process, and all men know to do is, you know, there's a lot of men who flee it because they get caught in catch-22.
Let me tell you, when you said that, I'm telling you, it really, it just put one of my peoples in Jersey. Like, this person is like, you know, I got to go ahead and make sure, you know, when I get my check, you know, they got a job in construction, you know, and they're like, I got to go get my check. And then when they go get their check, then they're like, they done took out, they took out that $250, that $300, you know what I'm saying, for the kids, you know. And I was like, and I'm asking, I was like, so did you see him? He was like, nah, I ain't seen him in like 2 years, but, you know, as long as I pay that, then it's all good. What?
Damn.
I'm like, what?
Mm-mm.
Like you're okay with that? You know what I'm saying? You're okay with just as long as they take that $250, that $300 that you get, you know, out of your check every week. You know
right, exactly, week now.
I have to say that every week.
And
do you guys know how powerful that thought of going? But let me ask you: do you know how powerful that thought of going to jail is on a man?
Exactly, because that's what it is. We put that in there, but see, the thing is that it starts with money, and I'm going to keep saying that it's money. Then it goes into the fear. You know, it goes into the fear of going to jail and your freedoms being taken from us, and all these things. And then you got to go. You know what? Like, that's where it's all wrong. You know, because when he said out of his mouth. I said, when have you seen them? You know, and he was like, I ain't seen him in like 2 years. I'm like, but he's okay with the fact of just making sure that that's paid, so his freedom is okay. And regardless of the simple fact is like, I wonder if my kid really thought about me today.
And let me tell you something else, and I know it's a messed up thing, but I was telling the women on the show last night, y'all need to watch it about this trying to force this man to be a father and all this stuff, because they don't force women to be mothers. Women can sit there and get pregnant 98 times and put all 98 of them before adoption.
And
nobody puts them in jail. Yeah. So
that's it.
Yeah. And the reason they don't try to force them is because they know if that woman can't mentally handle the ability to be a parent, she might end up killing them kids, i.e. Susan Smith. Well, a lot of these women are putting themselves in danger and they're putting their kids in danger by constantly threatening this man with taking his freedom away by not paying. When they know the woman's not, her freedom is never threatens, whether she kills
her in any way.
Ever. When a woman can't take care of a child, she gets support from the state. The state will give her food stamps. The state will give her milk. The state will give her peach care. When she decides she want to move back in with her parents. When a man decides he want to be lazy, he got to look at going to jail. When a man decides he works in IT, he works in IT and he was making $160,000 a year. He got laid off. Now he's making $40,000 a year. But the courts will still look at him and say, well, you have the ability to make $160,000, so we're going to just keep making you be in arrears until you get another $160,000 job.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then the amount. See, when we talk about the money and going into what the monetary is, we have to look at the amount is always unfair because they take out so much to where the man can't even have another. He can't live. My brother has two.
Hold on, Meeks, let me just say this. I want to address this because I want the people to understand how screwed up this is. And I know TD can attest to this. When you're married to a woman and you lose your job, she doesn't go down to the court and say he ain't paying no child support. Let's put his ass in jail.
Yeah.
Second point. Look, when you look at it this way, when it comes down to money and what a man has to do in order to get it paid, look at what the system says. It says that every month, let's say TD has to pay $1,000 on one child every month.
One child holds it.
Yeah, nobody holds.
I've been more than that.
Okay.
No. I say that because I have to clear that up. When I say I spend more than that, I don't pay child support. You know, I set up child support for my daughter years ago when I wanted to. You know, that was a part of my legal process to be a part of her life, you know? Mm-hmm. So I set up the child support. She didn't come after me. I set it up, you know? Mm-hmm. So, you know, but from that, you know, with the new custody agreement we have, I've changed that. But when I say I pay more than that, I pay more than that just because of what I do for the children, you know? Because I'm not going to let you tell me this is what is the set rate. I'm going to spend what I want my children to have.
And the point I was trying to make is this. As a woman or a married couple, here's what you have the right to do. On 1 month, you can spend $200 on your child. The next month, you can spend $2,000. The next month, you can spend $20,000. There's no set amount that you spend on your child. 1 month, you may have lost your job. 1 month, you may have needed to pay car note or get something else, so you pay less for your child. As a man, you have a set amount that you have to spend on a child every month, and that makes no sense. Logically, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Situations come up. Your engine fails in your car.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you,
my son. When I got my son, my son that's 14 now. Let me tell you something. This boy has expensive taste. You know what I'm saying? And when he goes to the store, it's like shopping with me. You get what I'm saying? I have a stylist, someone that does all my shopping, but I'm going with him. I'm feeling like the stylist, and I'm talking about when we get into that register. I mean, he has no problem picking up a pair of jeans that are $100. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he picks them up, you know, and throws them in the cart and keeps going. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just like for them to go ahead and set limits for people on certain child supports and things like that, and kids want to do trips. And my son plays basketball, baseball, and football. So that means pay.
Right, uniform.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, I support what my brother's saying. Like, yo, for them to say, you know, a woman can spend $200 this month and $20,000, like, you can't set something like that because it depends on the child.
It depends on the child. Exactly. It depends on the month. That's a fluid thing.
Depends on the month. Literally, depends on what's going on.
It could be school, it could be football, it could be summertime, it could be winter, now they need new stuff.
Right.
It's to it. And to say that makes no sense.
With every increase you get on the job as a raise, then they increase the damn pay.
Because you know
what you make. Oh.
You know what they say? They said, well, now you know it's so crazy? Like, this is how they do the assessment of it. And again, it goes back to money. They say, well, if the child was living with you, now just hold that. if the child was living with you.
If,
okay?
right, if.
Which you won't let happen, number one, unless she's an unfit mother.
That's not even happening. Let's talk about that reality fact. That's not even happening. But okay, let's go. Let's speak their jargon. Let's speak the lingual, and we'll say, if the child is living with you, then you have to pay to the life of what that child would be expected to if they live with you. Now, if you're, that child, if you have this type of living and your rent is this much and you have this and this, then that is the life that child would have to be used to, even though they're not used to. So even if they're living with their mother in, I don't want to say a city and upset people, so I'll say they're living in some Skid Row trailer, and yet, you're living here and not that much better, but you're still doing what you're doing. You're supposed to keep that child up, and yet this woman is still having the law on her side and laws on her side to prevent that child from even seeing that child. You get what I'm saying? But it's based on your income. But that's all we're going to take from you. Now, when you want to go see her, you go to somebody else and spend more money.
Mm-hmm. You want to look at it this way:
a woman somewhere else.
How about this? A woman does not have to prove that you are the father of her child. You got to prove that you're not. They can go and file a claim against you, and you have to prove that you're not. But while you're proving you're not, you have to pay. Or you
have to pay.
And then, how about that? Prove that you are the father. You don't have rights to see that child. You have to go get it legitimated.
You pay for your rights. You have to pay for your rights. I went through all of those things. Let me tell you something. I went through a mediation, like I said, upwards of $70,000, man. I'm telling you. And private investigators and all this, and mad different attorneys. And what was so crazy to me was that I had to, have all these different steps. I had to take a mediation class, like I said, from the woman that tells we're a bad parent. I took the entire class, got the certificate. So when we had to sit down for the mediation, guess who doesn't show?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even come.
But
guess what? Guess what happened? Guess what happened, though? That $8,000, gone. Right? So now, she didn't show, even though I got my certificate, the attorney tells me, okay, but that goes in your file now. Oh, great. Oh, that's where it's going.
Now,
now I have a file now.
Right.
That's what I have.
That's
Basically,
what I want
you're
to
telling me is I have
$8,000
a file.
file.
You just told no. It's not an $8,000 file. What it is a file that says we're gonna have you around for a while.
Exactly. Okay.
And what people don't realize is a lot of men don't want to find themselves in the system.
Exactly. Okay, listen, press pause just a second. I got 2 minutes left in the show. And let me say thank you, do all my thank yous and stuff right now. And TD, I want to give you the final say. Give us your summary. Wrap it up in about 45 seconds, your purpose, what you're doing, and what you need us to do.
Pretty much, Stand for a Father is an organization, and I'm asking for everybody's voice to be heard. In the spirit of Facebook, getting the campaign to get Betty White on SNL, we want you guys to go to Facebook, Stand for a Father, and go in and make your voice heard and show up for me on July 12th in Atlanta, Fulton County, and go ahead and as soon as you come, there's going to be a page coming soon of Stand for a Father, and you can go on there and donate to different charities. We need to stand up for a father and get this injustice and make it no longer exist. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. Well, there you have it. There you have it. Now, you want to give us your web pages or whatever, because you still got to take care of these babies.
Yes, I got to take care of my babies. And y'all know y'all got to look out for me. It's www.tdfaison.com. That's TD, F as in Frank, AISON.com, tdfaison.com. And you can check out different things that are going on. There's going to be a new video blog that's going to be coming on my page as well. There's a couple of new changes on there. You can check them out. You can check out my music. You can order my last book, 12.6 Blessing or Curse. There's further updates of new projects that I have on the way. Look for Men Speak Live coming to New York. Also, look for me, and I have a show that is going to be coming on cable television, and I'm not going to share all that because, my manager said can't talk about that. But
not yet.
just not yet. But look for it, because I got to take care of my babies. You know, that's what it really is, and you know, and God bless.
All right. Well, on that, TD, thank you for being here. TJ, baby, thank you.
No problem.
For coming on and giving us your part of it.
Yeah, man, you dropped some serious knowledge, man. We needed to hear that.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
I know firsthand.
So with that, folks, I want y'all to sit up there and govern yourselves accordingly, honey, because we done dished some real tea up in here. My brothers out there.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to get any callers.
That's all right, because, see, the information needed to go out there, and I wanted to make sure that those, I got a couple of folks, but that's all right, because, see, we're at the end now. I'm sorry, babies. But I wanted to make sure that all that went out there, and I didn't want them to bombard you with non-topical shit, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
With that, y'all be blessed. July 12th, 9 o'clock, we got you back, baby.
9:30.
9:30. But get that, you know, black folks, get there at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah. There will be T-shirts right. And there will be signs.
Lovely. Okay, well, cool. With that, baby, I will talk with you again soon. You always got a platform here.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, ciao.
Ciao.